But it's clear that Miguel Alfonso Martinez, in his study on treaties, agreements, and constructive arrangements, has stated that we are subjects of international law. And I would like to introduce Sharon Venne. She's one of our esteemed international lawyers. She's from Canada. She has a very high litigation record. And she's, for our grassroots and many Indigenous people, she's one of our very dear friends and esteemed colleagues. So I want to introduce Madam Sharon Venne.
I'm going to speak from here if you don't mind.
Okay.
Lian Otakwama Kwama Tokan. Isu Assist My name is Old Woman Bear, sitting next to the Creator. And that's in my own language, my Cree language. I'm actually not from Canada. That's a misnomer. I'm from Great Turtle Island. We were created on the back of the turtle. It's our creation story. And because we live on the back of the turtle, it includes all of America. And what they call America, because that's a word that is not our word either. It came from, I believe, some Italian maker named America or something. Anyway, we are from Great Turtle Island, and one of the fins of the turtle is Alaska. And the tail of the turtle is what they call Mexico and Central America. So that's Great Turtle Island, and that's where we come from. Because the colonizers' history has imposed a value on us that we don't accept, even though they tried to distort their own history, to bring their own view of the world to our territory. We still maintain our view of our territory, and have always maintained that we are living in a under colonial regime. We're not in a post-colonial era. That the imposition of the states of Canada, United States and Mexico, other countries on our indigenous territories are violations of international law. So I happen to be one of the people who was fortunate to be invited to sit as a juror, a judge on the Hawaiian Tribunal, and was co-authored along with Ward Churchill the findings of the Hawaiian Tribunal, where we visited every island in Hawaii and listened to the Indigenous Kanaka Maoli give testimony of the violations of the Kanaka Maoli law by the United States government, and how that affected the day-to-day people in Hawaii. And it was a very difficult tribunal to be involved in, because afterwards I had a personal vision that every day was dark and cloudy, and it was very bleak, I thought. If somebody asked me what the weather was like, that's what I would have told them. It was dark, cloudy, rainy, not a very nice climate or weather at all. I was quite surprised that, to watch the video. They had a video of it, and I was surprised to watch the video because it was beautiful and sunny and clear skies, because what I heard from the people was so dark and so awful because of the dispossession from their land, and how they were forced from the land by the colonizers, and how they could not go to the beaches to swim or to gather their food or to be able to grow their food, and that they had something like 78 golf courses on, I think, on the island of Maui or something, where there was so much herbicide, fungicides, pesticides, and whatever else they put on it to keep the grass green. so that people continue playing golf, and but was poisoning the aquafilter. The water was being poisoned, and the people were forced to consume that because they weren't able to afford to constantly buy bottled water. And so, you know, the violations, the continued violations of the day-to-day lives of the Kanaka Maoli was staggering. And I know, like, many times when we were in the 8 days of hearings, the judges slept total of 24 hours in 8 days. Because we never turned anybody away. And we would start at 6 o'clock in the morning with the greetings at the island, and we would go through until the last person was able to speak, and people were lined up, and they would wait all day to tell their story, and we would listen to them, so that they could at least tell somebody, and that what has happened to them, the personal effects of the family, the loss of their ability to be indigenous within their own territory. It was really staggering. And so, you know, the United States continues to violate the people in the Kanaka Maoli area, violates international law, pretends that, you know, everything is okay, and it's not. Because I heard the people on the ground. I heard young people, I heard old people. The old people, they came and they're crying, you know, the loss of their access to territory where they used to gather or grow food that they can't do anymore. It was really, really heart-wrenching to hear. And so, if people are really interested, you know, there's a compilation that it's called Islands in Captivity, and it's a summary of the tribunal findings and some of the papers that were submitted in that hearing. And I think, you know, it's really telling reading of what the United States government is prepared to do in order to maintain this fiction that they have jurisdiction in these territories. And I would even go further to say that the United States, and I've studied you know, law for many years. I've been a lawyer for more than 30 years. I don't like to tell people that because I'm only 29, so it's kind of, I was a lawyer before I was born, you know, it's kind of hard to, it's kind of that super, you know, incarnation kind of thing, but anyway, well, that's another story. But I always question the fact about the United States of America existing as an entity. Because the United States of America was founded by colonists from Great Britain, what they call the Pilgrims, who came over there, who fled religious persecution, and they fled to our homelands. And then they decided that they were going to decolonize themselves from Great Britain. But the right to decolonize does not apply to the colonizer. It applies to the colonized. And the indigenous peoples are the colonized. The white settlers in America were not the colonized, they were the colonizer. And I question the legitimacy of the United States of America in international law. Do they have any right, legally or morally, to pretend that they're any kind of state? I would, you know, if they want to follow they keep talking about, you know, following the norms of international law, and, you know, they throw themselves out as the so-called great protectors of human rights, and, you know, you listen to CNN and all these Fox programs, and, you know, we get them in the North too, you know, they broadcast that stuff around the world, you know, and so, you know, you sit there and you listen to that, and I think, you know, like, who do you think you're fooling, you know, because it's just rubbish. You know, they don't understand international law at all. And it seems to me that they only apply it when they want to, when they think that it's going to support them. Otherwise, they ignore it.